Imagine being so innocent and kind that people mistake your silence for weakness. Imagine bullies thinking they can break you, only to realize that the one man who loves you is trained to protect nations, not just his wife. Today's story will leave you speechless, because when a quiet farm girl was tied to a tree by cruel bullies, just one call changed everything. And before I take you into this emotional journey, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you never miss powerful stories like this one. Lena had always been the quiet one in her small rural town. She grew up among golden fields, the morning air scented with fresh hay, and evenings spent listening to crickets sing by the barn. To many, she was just the farm girl, the one who dressed simply, worked hard, and rarely spoke more than necessary. But what no one realized was that behind her soft eyes and gentle hands, she carried a heart that beat fiercely for only one man, her husband, Jack. Jack wasn't like the other men in town. While most worked in local shops or managed their own farms, Jack belonged to a world of shadows and silent wars. He was part of Delta Force, one of the most elite and secretive military units in the country. Few people knew this, because Jack lived a double life. To neighbors, he was just Lena's hard-working husband, away on long assignments. To Lena, he was her protector, her anchor, and the man who promised to always come back, no matter how dangerous his missions were. But when Jack was away, Lena became an easy target. The bullies in town, 3 local men who thrived on making others feel small, saw her quietness as weakness. They didn't understand her strength, nor did they know the men who stood behind her. That fateful afternoon, Lena was walking home after picking up supplies from town. Her simple white dress brushed against her knees as she carried a basket of bread and vegetables. The road was empty, except for the sound of a truck pulling up behind her. The laughter of the 3 men spilled out before the engine even stopped. They were known troublemakers, spoiled by money, and fueled by arrogance. They stepped out, circling Lena like wolves around a lamb. She clutched her basket tighter, trying to walk past them without saying a word. "Hey, farm girl," one of them sneered. "Always walking alone, huh? You think you're too good to talk to us?" Lena shook her head and tried to move faster. But one of them grabbed her wrist, yanking her basket from her hands. Vegetables spilled onto the dirt road. Another pushed her back, laughing cruelly as she stumbled. They wanted to see fear. They wanted to see her break. But Lena's silence was not fear, it was faith. Faith that Jack's love, his promise, and his strength would never leave her, even if he wasn't here now. Still, the bullies grew more aggressive. They dragged her into the nearby woods, ignoring her quiet protests. With ropes they had brought, ropes meant for cruelty, not work, they tied her to an old oak tree. Bark scraped her skin as rough knots pinned her wrists behind her. They laughed as she struggled, her soft eyes filling with unshed tears. "Let's see how long the farm girl stays quiet now," one mocked, brushing dirt across her cheek. But Lena didn't scream. She didn't beg. She did the only thing her trembling hands could manage, she pressed the emergency button on the small phone Jack had given her. A direct line. One ring. One signal. And Jack would know she needed him. Miles away, deep in a military base, Jack's phone vibrated. He didn't need to check the screen. His heart knew. His wife was in danger. His Lena. The woman who once stood by the barn with flowers in her hair and whispered, "I'll wait for you, always." He had promised then that no matter where he was, no matter what he faced, he would always protect her. Without hesitation, Jack left his post. He didn't ask for permission, he didn't need to. For men like him, some missions weren't about countries or borders. Some missions were about love. Meanwhile, Lena's tears finally broke free. She whispered Jack's name into the cold air, not knowing if he'd hear, not knowing how far away he was. The bullies mocked her, tossing stones nearby, enjoying her helplessness. But what they didn't know was that every second brought them closer to their greatest mistake. Every second brought Jack closer. Jack's truck tore through back roads with the precision of a man who had memorized every corner of the town just to ensure he could get to Lena faster if ever she needed him. His heart pounded, not with fear, but with a fury that burned through his veins. He had faced warlords, terrorists, and chaos, but nothing compared to the rage of knowing someone had dared to touch his wife. Back in the woods, the bullies had grown bored of simply mocking Lena. One picked up her basket and pretended to eat, while another bragged about how quiet girls like her never fight back. Lena's eyes stayed firm, though tears streaked her cheeks. She thought of Jack, his strong arms around her the night before he left, his whispered words, "You're never alone, Lena." Suddenly, the roar of an engine shattered the cruel laughter. The bullies turned, startled, as a black truck skidded to a halt at the edge of the clearing. The door slammed open. And there he was. Jack. Not the simple farmhand the bullies thought he was. Not the absent husband they assumed was never around. But a soldier. A protector. A man whose eyes burned with a storm they had never seen. He moved swiftly, each step carrying the lethal grace of a Delta Force operator. His gaze locked on Lena first, always Lena. Her tear-streaked face, her bound wrists, her quiet bravery. Then his eyes shifted to the men. In that instant, their mocking smirks faltered. "Untie her," Jack's voice thundered, calm but deadly. The leader laughed nervously. "Or what? You think you can take all three of us?" Jack didn't answer with words. He answered with movement. In less than a heartbeat, he closed the distance, his training unfolding like a storm. The first bully was on the ground before he realized Jack had struck. The second tried to swing, but Jack twisted his arm with brutal precision, sending him to his knees with a cry of pain. The third backed away, fear replacing arrogance, but Jack's eyes pinned him in place like a predator watching prey. "I said, untie her." Shaking, the third man rushed to the tree, fumbling with the ropes until Lena's hands were free. She collapsed into Jack's arms, her body trembling but her spirit unbroken. He held her tightly, one arm shielding her from view, the other steady on her back. "You're safe," he whispered against her hair. "I'm here." Tears flooded her eyes as she clung to him. "I knew you'd come, Jack. I knew." The bullies, bruised and broken, scrambled to their feet, muttering excuses. But Jack's voice stopped them cold. "If you ever come near her again, you won't walk away." They fled, their arrogance shattered forever. Silence filled the woods, broken only by Lena's soft sobs against Jack's chest. He kissed her forehead, his calloused hands gently brushing the rope burns from her wrists. "You're stronger than they'll ever know," Jack said softly. "But no one hurts my wife." As they walked back toward the truck, Lena looked up at him, her eyes filled with love and awe. "You always keep your promises." Jack smiled faintly, tightening his arm around her. "And I always will. You're my forever mission." The road stretched ahead, but for Lena, it no longer felt lonely. She wasn't just the quiet farm girl anymore. She was the wife of a soldier who would cross any distance, break any barrier, and fight any battle, just to keep her safe. And that's the power of love and loyalty. A quiet farm girl who everyone underestimated had something no one could take away, her husband's unshakable promise to protect her. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more emotional and inspiring stories that remind us all of the strength found in love.